Hello everyone, and welcome to Behind the Bulletin. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tonight, we bring you a story that has swept across the nation with overwhelming joy and absolute disbelief. A revelation so touching and so unexpected that fans everywhere are still trying to catch their breath. We're expecting again, Sun Yijin drops the news that leaves Hyunbin speechless. What exactly happened behind the scenes? How did Hyunbin react the moment he heard the life-changing news? And why has this announcement taken the entertainment world by storm? Stay with us, because the full story begins right now. The house was unusually quiet that morning. The kind of softness that settles only on days when something extraordinary is about to happen. Sunlight spilled gently over the polished wooden floors of their living room, warming the edges of framed photos, children's books, and small slippers scattered near the hallway where their son had left them the night before. Sun Yijin stood still for a moment, her hand resting lightly on the back of the sofa, taking in the familiar calm of home. A deep breath filled her chest, steady, full, warm, as if her heart itself was preparing for the moment she had been holding close for days. Today, she would tell him. She turned slightly when she heard quiet footsteps from down the hallway. Yabo, Hyunbin's voice floated softly, still thick with morning drowsiness. He appeared in the doorway in a simple gray t-shirt, his hair slightly messy, his expression relaxed, unaware of the life-changing surprise waiting in her hands. "Good morning," she said with a gentle smile. He walked over, wrapping an arm around her shoulders, pressing a kiss to the top of her head. "You were up early," he murmured. "I couldn't sleep," she whispered, and it was true. Because of worry. Her heart was simply too full. When he pulled back, she held something behind her back, hidden beneath a light scarf. A small white envelope, nothing fancy, nothing dramatic, but inside was a message that would shift their world in the softest, brightest way. Hyunbin frowned playfully. "What are you hiding?" She hesitated only a heartbeat before extending the envelope toward him. "Something for you." He raised an eyebrow, amused. "Did I forget an anniversary again?" She shook her head, laughing softly. "Open it." He slid a finger under the flap, still with that teasing smile, but the smile slowly faded as he pulled out the small strip of paper folded neatly inside. His breath caught. The room seemed to stop breathing with him. He looked up at her, eyes already glossy. "Yijin, is this?" She nodded once, her own eyes shimmering. "Yes." Silence, but the warmest kind, enveloped them for a long, precious moment. Hyunbin swallowed hard, his voice breaking into a whisper. "We're expecting again." The words trembled out of him, fragile and amazed. Yijin nodded again, a tear rolling down her cheek. "I wanted to tell you in a special way. I wanted to see your face when you found out." That was when it happened, the moment that would replay in her heart forever. Hyunbin pressed the strip of paper against his chest, tailing shakily as waves of emotion overcame him. He stepped forward and wrapped his arms around her into a tight embrace. Not dramatic, not rushed, but steady, full of meaning, full of love. She felt his shoulders shake as he pressed his face into her hair. "I can't believe this," he whispered. "I don't even know what to say. This is the greatest gift you could ever give me." She laughed softly through her tears. "You're speechless for the first time in your life?" He pulled back, eyes still shining. "Completely speechless." "Yijin, thank you. Thank you so much." She placed a hand over his heart. "I'm scared, but happy. So happy." He took her face gently between his hands. "Don't be scared alone. Not for a second. We're in this together, again." She smiled, leaning her forward against his. "Our family is growing. I can't believe it either." At that moment, their son's sleepy voice echoed from the hallway. "Uma. Appa." They both turned as the little boy rubbed his eyes, fling toward them with messy hair and tiny footsteps. Hyunbin lifted him into his arms effortlessly. "Guess what?" Hyunbin said softly, kissing his cheek. "You're going to be a big brother." Child blinked. "Big brother?" Yijin nodded gently. "Yes, sweetheart." Boy smiled, wide, innocent, pure, and rested his head against her shoulder. And just like that, the small living room felt fuller, brighter, wrapped in a warmth that felt almost sacred. New journey had begun. Not dramatic, not shocking, but beautiful, healing, life-changing. Their hearts beat quietly in unison as they held each other and their child, Three souls standing at the edge of a new chapter, wrapped in sunlight and love that only deepened with time. The news of their growing family settled into the house like a soft, glowing light. Everything looked the same, the familiar furniture, the quiet corners, the framed photographs, yet everything felt different. As if even the walls understood that something new, something precious, was blooming quietly between them. That afternoon, Hyun-bin prepared lunch while humming under his breath, a habit he didn't even realize he had picked up. He moved around the kitchen with an energy that made Yejin laugh every time she caught him swaying his shoulders or tapping rhythmically against the counter. Their son sat at the table drawing with crayons, only glancing at his parents with curious eyes. Jin entered the kitchen. Hyun-bin glanced over his shoulder and immediately stopped what he was doing. Walked toward her, taking her hand gently. "Are you feeling? Are you tired? Do you want to sit?" His voice was soft, protective, overflowing with tenderness. She shook her head with a smile. "I'm fine. Just a little lightheaded earlier. But right now, I'm happy." He brushed a stray strand of hair behind her ear. Hit her like she was the most fragile, beautiful thing he had ever seen. "I want to do everything right this time," he whispered. "Even the smallest things." She rested her hand on his chest. "Already doing everything right." They shared a quiet moment before returning to the warm rhythm of the day. Lunch was simple: rice, grilled fish, warm soup, but the laughter at the table was richer than any feast. Their son kept asking questions in that innocent way children do. "Where is the baby? Will they come out? Will they play with me?" Yejin answered each one gently. But Hyun-bin watched her with a look that held both awe and gratitude. Every word she spoke carried a softness that made his heart tighten. He was glowing, not because of the pregnancy, because she was stepping once again into a chapter of love and courage. After lunch, they took a walk in the garden behind their home. The winter air was crisp. The sun was warm enough to soften the cold. Fallen leaves crunched under their feet as their son ran ahead chasing a red ball across the grass. Yejin wrapped her scarf a little tighter around her neck. Bin noticed and instinctively reached for her other hand. Fingers interlaced naturally, as if they'd been doing it for lifetimes. "Do you remember," he said quietly, "the first time we walked together like this?" Laughed softly. "You mean when you kept insisting you weren't cold, but you were shivering every 3 steps?" And, embarrassed. "I was trying to impress you," she said, leaning into his shoulder. "You did." Slowed the pace, savoring the calm. Then, voice barely above a whisper, Yejin said, "Want this baby to grow up surrounded by peace, by gentleness. Not just the world outside, but the world inside our home." Hyun-bin squeezed her hand. "They will. I promise." They watched their son roll his ball across the grass, small figure glowing in the afternoon sun. And for a moment, the world felt perfectly aligned, like every choice, every challenge, every tear, had led them exactly where they were meant to be. That evening, after putting their little boy to bed, the couple sat together on the sofa, wrapped in a single blanket. Outside, snowflakes drifted silently past the windows. The night in peaceful white. Hyun-bin rested his hand gently over hers on her belly. "It still feels unreal," he murmured. Yejin leaned her head on his shoulder. "It will feel more real tomorrow. And the day after. And every day we move forward from here." He closed his eyes, breathing in the quiet warmth of the moment. "I want to be better this time," he whispered. "More present. More involved. So many moments the first time because of work. Don't want that again." Yejin turned her head, and with softness that made his heart ache. "You're here now. That's what matters." He rested his forehead against hers. "I want this child to know me not as an actor, but as their father. One who will never be too far away." Her fingers brushed his cheek. "They will know. Because you love them already." A gentle silence wrapped around them as snow continued to fall. Their house glowed warm against a cold world outside, a sanctuary. A beginning, a promise. And in the warmth of that room, with his hand resting where a new heartbeat quietly existed, Hyun-bin realized that there were moments in life that didn't need grand gestures or loud celebrations. Some moments whispered. Moments healed. Some moments simply reminded you that love, real love, was enough. And as the night deepened, they sat together under the soft light of their home, dreaming quietly of the future they would soon welcome. As a family of four. As the night settled peacefully around their home, Jin and Hyunbin remained curled together beneath the soft glow of a single lamp, listening to the silence that felt rich with promise. Sun's quiet breathing echoed faintly from the next room, steady, rhythmic, pure innocence, while the snow outside continued to fall in slow, delicate layers, as if the universe itself wished to cushion their world. There were no dramatic twists, no loud revelations, no chaos waiting beyond the door. Just warmth, just love, just the quiet certainty that the life inside Yijin's belly was already shaping their tomorrows in gentle ways neither of them could fully put into words. Hyunbin lifted her hand and pressed a kiss against her knuckles. "Thank you," he whispered again, voice soft with emotion, "for giving our family another miracle." Yijin smiled, resting her head on his shoulder. "It's a miracle," she said. "Yours, mine, and his." Her hand instinctively brushed over her belly, protective and tender. He tightened his arm around her, letting out a breath that trembled slightly, not from fear, but from overwhelming gratitude. "I'll cherish this," he said. "Every day. Every moment." The room felt warmer, softer, as if time itself paused to honor the beginning of this new chapter. They didn't speak for a while after that. They didn't need to. Their silence was comfortable, full, the kind of silence that comes only when two hearts share the same rhythm. Outside, the world was cold. Inside, their world glowed, alive with hope, healing, and the quiet joy of a family growing stronger with each passing heartbeat. And as they finally turned off the lights and let the darkness settle in, Yijin whispered into the stillness, "Welcome to our story, little one. We can't wait to meet you." And for the first time that day, they fell asleep with smiles on their faces, holding each other, holding their future, holding a love that felt deeper than ever. Thank you so much for joining Behind the Bulletin for this heartwarming fictional journey. Your support and presence mean the world to us. If you enjoyed this healing, emotional story, please remember to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss the next beautiful chapter we bring to life. Your encouragement helps us continue creating meaningful, cinematic, deeply touching stories, and we're grateful to have you with us. Stay warm, stay hopeful. We'll see you again in our next story. Thank you for watching Behind the Bulletin.